Greetings, I'm Mark with Unlimited Story, unlimited-story.com, a channel dedicated to writing, world building, marketing, and most importantly, getting things done. In this episode, I am going to talk about exactly why you clicked on this video, which is non-variant Loki, which is Sacred Timeline Loki, or we've been told is Sacred Timeline Loki, ain't dead. So sit tight for just a few seconds and I'll go over that. And welcome back. So I'm going to be covering why I think Loki, Sacred Timeline Loki, / one that got killed by Thanos, is still alive. And I have a little bit of proof, but first I gotta say huge props and thank you to Tom, a guy I barely even know, met at my boss's son's birthday party, and you know, like adults that are in their 30s, we talked about nerdy things while our kids went and played. So if you're watching this video, dude, thank you, because you've enlightened me thoroughly, and I've jumped on this conspiracy train, which is Thanos Loki is alive. So here's the proof I have, and it's kind of what I'm thinking, and I would love to hear some debate in the comment section, because I think this is I think there's a lot of potential. In fact, I am going to go as far to say that I think Thanos Loki, you know, Sacred Timeline, killed by Thanos, whatever, I think that is the last guy of the Loki series. I think he is the equal opposite, and I love the equal opposite. Equal opposite is amazing to me. So if, you know, the protagonist of the Loki series, which is the one who lost to the Avengers, picked up the Tesseract, and so he's bad guy, turns good guy, sort of. So that's our protagonist. The antagonist is Loki that we know and love, that dies in Infinity War, and he is now the antagonist. I think that is... it's too good of an opportunity for Disney to pass up. Like, I look at that as someone who loves to write, loves to world build, loves to work on stories, and I think about these things and I'm like, man, that is a really good opportunity. They've laid enough groundwork, which I'll be covering in a few moments, for me to say, one, that's a great idea, and two, it's totally possible. Reason number one why I think it's possible, and this is like the key reason, is duplication casting. Okay, duplication casting is like overly explained. Like it's very specifically explained in the series, which I'm going to include right now.
Different powers, although powers generally include shape-shifting, illusion, projection, and my
duplication
favorite,
casting.
Illusion projection.
No, they're two completely different powers, actually.
How?
Illusion projection involves depicting a detailed image from outside oneself which is perceptible in the external world, whereas duplication casting entails recreating an exact facsimile of one's own body in its present circumstance, which acts as a true holographic mirror of its molecular structure.
So with that explanation, it makes me think that he could have replicated himself to die to Thanos. Okay, yeah, the ship blew up, but hey, Thor survived in space, why can't Loki, right? You know, Loki's a frost giant. Did you see any like atmosphere or anything on Jotunheim? Like, it just seems like he could actually be alive. Or maybe, you know, the TVA beforehand picked him up. Who knows? But whatever the case, I think that, you know, he could have survived. And maybe he is this really crafty and smart person where he was able to manipulate things, take over the TV, and just, you know, be around. But either way, I think that he could have actually survived. And even though Thanos says, oh, no resurrections or whatever that garbage is, how does he know? It's not like he's got all the Infinity Stones where he magically knows everything. He just killed somebody. A duplicate. That's what I'm going with. He killed a duplicate. My next reason I think is way too cool and way too good of an opportunity for Disney to pass up. And I've already kind of talked about this before, where we have the evil version of Loki that we started with that becomes good, and then we have the good version that dies to Thanos and is technically evil or acts as an antagonist. I think it's too good of an opportunity of equal opposite forces colliding to not have as an option. So I just don't see Marvel Disney skipping on this very, very unique opportunity that they can set up, because honestly, there's Lokis everywhere. There are Lokis legitimately coming out of every piece of woodwork in this show. Like, okay, the good guy is Loki, the bad guy is Loki. Why wouldn't they just make another bad guy Loki? Like, they're just Lokis everywhere, and somehow they're trusting each other. I'm waiting for him to be betrayed by some more Lokis. Like, him and Sylvia just seem to trust each other, I guess. I know they weren't really trusting each other, but now they seem to trust each other because they met on this planet and automatically trusted each other within 12 hours. So it's kind of whatever. Next on the list, Loki has a very specific line about someone being good is never truly good and someone bad is never truly, bad. Now, that is all based on perspective, okay? Like, that's something for other people to judge, right? Through the lens that they're provided specifically through this show. But whatever the case, to me, when a line like that is being utilized, it tells me that there are going to be good guys and bad guys making decisions that are somewhere in between in these gray areas. So to me, it leaves space for someone like a good guy Loki, aka the one who dies to Thanos, to actually be around making decisions that are less than, good. And I think what's going to end up happening is if he is around, like this character is around, his intention with the TVA is righteous, okay? Before he again dies to Thanos, he says a lot of stuff that makes you think, like, he's talking to his brother like, hey, the sun's gonna shine on us or whatever. All right, and the last thing I actually want to say that gives me reasons is that duplication casting has yet to even really be seen throughout all of Loki's episodes. Every show, he has it, just like a lot of his abilities, he has them, but he doesn't use them, which is irritating. But whatever the case, duplication casting has yet to be seen. He has yet to utilize it throughout the entire show. So what I'm saying is I am thinking that, one, the Loki that was killed by Thanos used duplication casting to survive. And then two, Loki, the one who is the variant that is the protagonist of the Loki series, it's way too hard to tell these guys apart or separate them. But whatever the case, that he survives this series or uses duplication casting to outwit the other Loki. That was complicated. All right, and that is it for this episode. I would love to hear your comments and have some discussion about why you think Sacred Timeline / Dead to Thanos Loki survived or didn't. I think this is a really good opportunity for Marvel to do some awesome storytelling with Loki. Again, they say things about him like he doesn't die. Like, he never dies. He dies all the time. He dies in the comic books. There are tons of times where he's been put in situations where he should be dead, but he always has an out. He has, again, died multiple times in the MCU. He just seems to keep popping up. So I am super, super confident that he is not dead at this point. They have a really good thing going with Loki, so they are, the more opportunities that they have to utilize this character, I think is going to be really, really good. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing or at least watching one of my videos that YouTube recommends. Thank you so much. Peace.